In a recent interview with BBC's The One Show, Russell T Davies said this.
And there's the biggest question, the next series. What can you tell us?
Coming, it's sensational. There's a lot of scares. There's a planet in the far future that's absolutely terrifying. There's a trip to Miami. It's very, very, very good, and it's coming sooner than you think.
So what does that mean? Let's talk about the possibilities. Hello, welcome to Culture Filter. I am Phil, and this is where I talk about all the geeky pop culture that I like and consume. Now let's talk about when we might be getting season 2, because yes, that little nugget from Russell T Davies has got all our minds racing about exactly when we might be getting it. Up until now, we probably assumed, I think he is assuming we assumed at least, that we'd be getting it the same time as we got last year, which if you remember was towards the end of spring, it was towards the end of May, which meant that the season itself ran into summer. Now that possibly affected its initial ratings, certainly on the overnights, because summer is a time that is very hard to get people in and watching telly on the nights that it broadcasts, because, well, people want to go out and enjoy the sunshine while we've got it. We don't get much in the UK. So you got to go out and enjoy it while you can. So it wasn't necessarily the best time for the season to release, so it makes sense that they'd want to try and bring it forward in the year a little bit. But by how much is he talking? What does he mean by earlier than expected? The first option is that we're talking maybe a few weeks earlier. Early May rather than late May, which, don't get me wrong, would be an improvement and would possibly help. But it's not the big, massive change that we may be thinking when he's saying this. If you say to me, oh, you might be getting this earlier than you think, and it's only a couple of weeks different to what I think, I kind of think that was a red herring, and actually, I don't really consider it that much earlier than I would have thought. It's kind of broadly the same time. A couple of weeks, don't get me wrong, makes a bit of difference, but not a significant amount. So I hope it's more than that. Of course, spring starts in April, really, so maybe we're talking right at the beginning of spring in April, and I think this would line up with what, Russell T Davies' first era used to do. We used to get the seasons towards the end of March, beginning of April, starting then, and that always worked really well for them. So it would make sense to maybe move to that sort of time frame. It gave a nice spread of the episodes throughout the year, especially back when we had 13 episodes, because then you had the run that sort of ended in summer, and then you had a break before the Christmas special, and then another little bit of a break before the next season started. That was quite a good pattern, and although the seasons are shorter now, so the break afterwards until Christmas would be longer, I think it's still a good pattern to go with. So I think maybe that's the most likely one, but there is another option, that we get it in January. This was apparently the plan for season 1, that we'd get the Christmas special, which was Nishuti's first proper episode by himself, and then we'd go straight into, almost with just a few weeks break, into season 1 and his first full season. Unfortunately, they didn't have the episodes ready in time to do that, and so it got pushed back into later in the year. And you could argue that the momentum of this new Doctor suffered because of that. The Christmas episode was very well received generally, and it was, got good ratings. And then there was this gap where nothing really happened for several months, and it kind of lost that momentum. So that when season 1 came around, the more casual viewers might have not really been paying as much attention as they would have been if it had come in January. So maybe they're trying to do that this time. We know from Doctor Who magazine, not the last one, but the one before, the state of various episodes as they were in at the time that Russell T Davies wrote his column for that, which by now would have been a couple of months ago, so they will have made progress on that. But at the time, it seemed like there was quite a lot of work to do still on season 2. So whether or not this is practical or doable, I don't know, because I don't really know the pace that things run at in TV drama. Whatever caused the delays last time to make them originally think they could get it out for January and then have to push it back, hopefully they've learnt from those experiences and managed to put things in place to speed things up a bit this time, but without overworking people, hopefully. So it's a possibility. And I think it would really help the show for its momentum to go out of Christmas, where they're bound to get good ratings on BBC One, because, frankly, BBC One's schedule There's nothing else to watch on Christmas Day apart from BBC One this year. It's wall-to-wall great stuff on BBC One. So I think I think it is a possibility, but maybe not the most likely possibility. But it is the one that might help the show the most. So what do you think? Let me know which of these you would prefer and which one is most likely, because they're not necessarily the same thing, in the comments down below. And I'll see you for more Doctor Who news, reviews, and commentary, and lore videos, and all of that sort of stuff soon, so do subscribe down below. But while you're here, why not click this video on screen now to check out all of 15th Doctor's outfits ranked from worst to best so far.